Coach, brand new season, scrimmage coming up on Friday night. Nothing really changes too much in your philosophy about the scrimmage. You go out there, stay injury-free, number one, and just a chance to beat up on somebody else after a while.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, at this point in the season, in the preseason, it's a matter of you just wanted something different. You need to go hit somebody else. You're trying to prepare for the season. It is, for all practical purposes, there's things you want to accomplish, but for the most part, it is sort of a practice. I guess the one thing that does make this year a little bit more interesting is, Pendleton is in our sectional, so I mean, there's a long, long way to go between now and the sectional, but it at least adds a little bit more interest, I guess, for the kids and for the people that knowing that they're, we're going to scrimmage a sectional opponent, and there's no official score kept, but the kids are kind of keeping tally. So
boy, you get that scrimmage, and then you turn around Connorsville, another one that you'll see in the first game of the year.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We open up with Connorsville again, and depending upon how the draw goes, they are also in our sectional, and so that'll be that'll I guess continue to add to the intrigue. There's over the years as far as the competitiveness between Connorsville and Richmond in basketball and football, and starting to be renewed here, rejuvenated here a little bit in football. That the sectional component adds a little bit extra to it.
You and I talked about this at the beginning of last year. It's kind of changed. You don't have those two-a-days. You're trying to squeeze everything you can in, but you had a little bit more in the summertime. Yeah. Is it still more beneficial to do it the way it is now, or would you have rather have had the opportunity to have two-a-days?
Well, I think I'd rather have the opportunity of having two-a-days. Yeah. I think that knowing that you're not going to have two-a-days and knowing that school starts so as early as it does, the first day of school is the first day of practice. It makes for a long summer. I mean, yeah. It's very demanding on the kids and on the coaches and our families, and it's almost to the point of, instead of being excited that the season's here, you're just kind of glad that it's here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, there's a different feeling. Okay, now we can get in a regular routine, and we know what to expect, and the longer hours are over because school's here, and at this point it is what it is. But I would almost rather go a little bit lighter during the summer and pack things in a 2-week period and preparation period than have the long summer, and then when school gets here, the craziness of the start of school for the kids and for the staff and the coaches, and trying to push our way through that. I'd kind of prefer 2-a-days instead.
Yeah. Matt, you're down a little bit in numbers. I saw your practice the other day, and you and I talked about the reasoning, and there's probably many, many reasons why, but how are you guys functioning right now with the amount of players you have? Because you're used to having a lot bigger team.
Yeah. We're doing what we can. I think the kids have been working hard. They understand that, one of the things that we've tried not to have guys go both ways if they don't, if we've had the luxury of having guys on both sides. And I think early on in the season that's kind of helped us at times. But just, right now we got a great core group. They've been working their tails off. A lot of them understand that, hey, I am the demands is going to be placed upon me to play both sides. And maybe play more minutes, than they normally would. So, we're just operating with that mindset that, okay, there's not as many of us, but we're still going to get it done, and we have a job to do. So that, we're going to do whatever we need to take to be ready to go come game one.
And I've known you long enough that you've pretty much taken that no matter what kind of football team it is and what personnel you have it. Now work it, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, it's not like, it's not like we can go out and recruit, the guys like in college and this and that. And we got what we got, and at that point, it's our job, our challenge, just to make the best team that we can and help produce the best young men that we can, as well as best football players as we can. And if there's fewer of them, there's fewer of them. If there's more talented, less talented, hey, we got what we got. It doesn't change the fact that the game comes around Friday night and our schedule is what it is, and so we're going to be ready to go regardless.
How have things gone so far?
Pretty well. Pretty well, all things considering. I think, at a point last week and then at a point this week, you kind of hit a wall. It's the change in routine for the kids, starting school full all day and then coming out to practice, and with it just being the beginning of school and in preparation of the season, our practices have been a little bit longer. Now that once we get into past the scrimmage and we start getting in a regular routine, we'll start shortening up a little bit. But for the most part, practice has gone pretty well, and everybody's kind of had to push through that wall. But they're constantly challenged that not only physically or their demands on you, and you're going to have to push through the physical toughness of it, but then you also have to push through the emotional demands. So,
right.
and that's some push through better than others, but either way, we're getting the practice of pushing through it.
Coach, with the scrimmage on Friday night and then your opener next week, will we see anything different? Or I don't even know how I should word this, not from philosophy or anything like that. Are you going to do something different offensively? Is there any new wrinkle defensively? Or is the system pretty much the same as it has been?
Well, there's the systems for the most part is pretty much the same. I think we're still a spread team. We still have we feel that we're blessed with some gifted kids on the periphery and some special and some skilled kids, and we're going to obviously try to utilize their what they do well. Defensively, I think that we're a smaller team perhaps than what we have been. So we might have to rely a little bit more on speed than what we've had in the past. But no, for the most part, there's obviously tweaks year in, year out,
sure.
Depending upon personnel. But for the most part, you're not going to see any dramatic changes.
Jordan Christian back at quarterback, and his career's been a little bit up and down, injuries and such.
Sure.
Last year after his excellent sophomore season. How is he coming to camp, and how has he developed over the last several weeks?
Well, he's really doing a great job. I think as far as what we want him to accomplish on the field, both leadership-wise and football skill-wise, he's really doing a nice job. We obviously have to make sure that we can do a better job of protecting him maybe this year than what we were able to do last year. But there's no doubt that he's the quarterback. He's the general on the team there, and I think obviously the amount of success that we have. There's 11 guys, and the linemen are probably the most important. But in regards to just the approach and that how he handles different situations is going to dictate how successful we are offensively, and so far he's doing a very nice job.
I know you and I will be meeting all year long and talking about the progression of this football team. Are you excited to get this going? I'm sure there always is. You and I talked before, too. You get to a certain point in the season, it might drag a little bit, but there's so much optimism at the beginning of a season.
Oh, yeah. You go in and you practice all, you do what you do in the off season, in the winter and in the spring, and then you push through, and the time commitment of these kids and during the summer, and you get to this point, and you're excited to see the fruition of the fruits of your labor. Yeah. And sometimes you find out that we're as good as we think we are, or no, we're not as good as we think we are, or there's always some surprises, but you kind of think you have a handle of the team, but you just don't know until you go do battle, live on a Friday night, and then you just tweak and do what you can from there.